Alright, so starting off first with a 1935 D mint mark. By the way, if you're not familiar with where the mint mark is going to be, it will be there on the reverse. So we will have a no mint mark, a D mint mark, and also an S mint mark. So in this case, this is the D mint mark. This coin is graded at an AU58. So it's not a mid-state grade, but it is an AU58. This coin only sold for around $25. Now, if we move on to a 1935D, this coin sold for over $4,000. And that's because it's got that mint state 67 grade. The higher the grade, in most cases, typically the more the coin will sell for, depending on how many coins are graded at that grade or higher. Now this coin also has full bands, so here's an example of what full bands is. If you guys want to pause it or screenshot it, that is an example of that. So the grading company will determine if you have full bands. If the bands are really worn down and stuff, they're not going to be considered full bands, but that will definitely help the value as well. So 25 bucks to 4,000, huge difference. Now also on the 1935 S mint mark, you can look for a repunched mint mark. So here's a couple examples of that. Look for that there on the reverse of your coin with your coin microscopes. I have those available on couchcollectibles.com. Link is down below the video. Now here is that coin. This coin sold for around $45. So not really too much money there, but it is graded at an AU55. Had the coin been in a little bit better condition, it could have sold for some more money, but you know, it's not super valuable. Now here is a 1935S. Now keep in mind, this coin has got an extremely high grade, a mint state 68 with full bands. This coin sold for over $90,000. That's right, $90,000. And again, we see that S mint mark there on the reverse of the coin. So keep that in mind, the grade is extremely important. Now we also have the 1935 no mint mark. This coin came out of a famous collection. It does have that high grade of a mint state 68 with the full bands, and that's why the coin sold for over $8,000. So if you have these coins and they're really worn down and stuff, you know, and they don't have any types of errors, they're really only worth their silver value. Now here's some other Mercury Dimes that are worth a lot of money. Now in 1943, they actually produced millions and millions of these coins. There's the 1943 no mint mark, the D mint mark, and the S mint mark. So they produced a lot, I mean millions of these coins. So they're fairly common. However, there are things that you can look for that can make them a little bit valuable. Now this first one here isn't super valuable, but it is a 1943 Mercury Dime. It's been cleaned, and this coin only sold for $18. So it's not worth getting this one graded. Now if we look at other coins, other ones sold for a lot more. This next coin here is a 1943 S Mercury Dime that has been broad struck. So it is a mint error. We can see that there taking place on the right side of the coin. Now if we go here to the reverse, if we zoom in there towards the bottom left of the torch, you can see the S mint mark, the S mint mark there. So that's where the D and the S mint mark will be. There is no P mint mark. There will be a no mint mark, a D mint mark, or an S mint mark there on the back of the coin. So this coin here sold for over $120. Next up is just like the first coin. However, this is the 1943 D. It's uncirculated, but it's been cleaned. That's gonna devalue the coin a little bit. The coin only sold for $22. But if we go to a 1943D like this one, this is extremely important because it's a 1943D that is an extremely high graded coin. It's graded at a mint state 68 with full bands. Now I've discussed full bands in my other Mercury Dime videos, so be sure to check those out. Full bands. Now this coin, like I said, the coin grading scale only goes up to 70. This is at a mint state 68, so nearly a perfect graded coin. It's got incredible natural toning to the coin. It's not artificial toning. Someone didn't do that. It naturally toned into this color over time, and this coin sold for over $3,700. Now also for the 1943D, you want to get you a USB coin microscope and look for this. You want to look for a repunched mint mark on the D mint mark. So always be on the lookout for that. You can see the D mint mark repunched a little there to the left and in the inside of the D. Now I have those coin microscopes available on couchcollectibles.com, so make sure you guys go check that out. Now also for the S mint mark, there is a repunched S mint mark as well. So you can really see it here on this image. The S is really repunched here, very, very noticeable, and that's what you want to look for on the S mint mark. Now here's a 1943 S that has that repunched mint mark, and it is graded at a mint state 67 with full bands, so that will give it value as well. And this dime sold for over $2,700, $2,700. Now if we look at a 1943 S that just has the high grade, it's got full bands, it doesn't have the repunched mint mark, but it's got some amazing toning to the coin. It's like a rainbow, it just looks awesome, man. This coin is just awesome. And this dime sold for over $10,000. That's right, a $10,000 silver dime from 1943 because of the high grade and because of the full bands and because of the natural toning to it. Now if you want to look at even a more expensive dime, this one is a 1943 graded at a mint state 68 with the full bands. Again, a pristine condition here. This coin here sold for over $19,000. 19,000 US dollars, baby. Also for the S mint mark, there is a trumpet tail mint mark. So you see how this mint mark kind of looks a little bit different, right? Well, that is because this mint mark debuted in 1943 and was used for several dates, but it is pretty rare on the 1943 S. So always look for that on your 1943 S Mercury dimes as well, because that could give your coin a little bit of value also. Next up, now this is what you really want to look for on your 1941 Mercury dime. Get you a USB coin microscope on couchcollectibles.com and you will be able to see your coins up close like this. Now you want to look for doubling. So a double die obverse, a DDO. Look for that on all the lettering as well as on the date. Now if we look here at this one on the date, you can really see the doubling there, and you really see it on all the lettering. I mean, look at the top of the T there on trust, very, very visible doubling there. Now also look for that on the initials, as well as look for doubling on the back, on the reverse of the coin. So you see that here on the lettering OF, and you will also see that on the word America. So you can really see it there at the top of that R on America, that doubling taking place. So look for doubling, double die obverse, and a double die reverse. Now this coin here actually has doubling on the front and the back. So it's got the DDO double die obverse and the double die reverse. So because of that and because of the high grade, this coin here sold for over $195. Now if we look at this coin, this is a 1941. You can tell that it's been circulated. It's not at a high grade. It's graded at a very fine 35, but it does happen to have that double die obverse on it. It's sold for a little over $25. So you go from a $25 coin to almost a $200 coin just because of the condition of the coin. Here is an amazing and very expensive coin. This is a 1941 dime, silver dime, that has a high grade and some amazing toning to it. Now this coin here, because of the high grade, sold for over $7,000. Now for the S mint mark, there is a large S, which we can see here, and a small s, which we can see here. So large S, small s, there's the difference between those. Now this is a 1941 proof. Before we move on to the S mint mark, here is a 1941 proof graded at a proof 69. Again, some amazing toning to it. And this coin here sold for over $11,000 because of that high grade. Now, first, this is a 1941 small s that has a repunched mint mark. So if you want to see your coins up close, like I said, get that USB coin microscope. Here is a few examples of that RPM on the S mint mark for the 1941 silver Mercury dime. And that is super, super important, because here is the 1941 S that has that RPM, that repunched mint mark, and this coin here sold for over $480. It also does have that high grade with it as well. Now you've seen that large S. Here's an example of a 1941 S that has the large S. It's graded at about uncirculated 53, so it's not the highest grade. If it was a mint state condition, it would be a lot more valuable. This dime only sold for around $25, so nothing too valuable there. Also, don't forget to always look for the 1942 over the 1941 date. So I have a whole video on the 1942 Mercury Dime. Be sure to go check that out. You can see that 2 over the 1, and you see how the 4 is over the 4. Really would love to find something like that because they are super valuable. Now also for the 1941S, this is one without errors. So this coin here is just solely valuable because of the high grade, and this dime sold for over $17,000. Alright guys, don't forget to subscribe in the middle. Check out the videos to the left of me. Got tons of stuff over there. And until tomorrow, I'll see you on the comment section below. This is Couch Collectibles, and this is where I disappear.